Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're mining absolute gold for anyone targeting a government career because we are breaking down the strategic blueprint for the SSC Combined Graduate Level 2026 exam. And listen, if you think you know this exam from past years, well, you might want to pause and pay close attention. The 2026 cycle brings some pretty monumental rule changes that are frankly going to rewrite your entire prep strategy.
12,256. Now that is not just some random statistic. That is the massive number of Group B and Group C vacancies up for grabs in this cycle. We're talking about over 12,000 life-changing career opportunities just waiting to be claimed. But here's the catch. The path to actually claiming one of those spots has changed, and the stakes, they have literally never been higher.
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute headline of the year is the new 15-minute sectional timer in Tier 1. You know how you used to be able to borrow a few minutes from English to save your math score? Yeah, not anymore. The system completely locks you in now. This completely transforms the exam from just a raw speed test into a brutal, unforgiving test of absolute discipline. It's essentially a ticking time bomb for every single subject. If you get stuck on a tricky math problem, you can't just dip into your English time. You have to be ruthlessly efficient.
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll cover the big 2026 updates. Second, mastering Tier 1. Third, the Tier 2 breakdown. Fourth, specialist roles like JSO and AAO. And finally, strategy and topic weightage. Don't worry, we've got a highly structured plan to get you through all of this.
Section 1. Big 2026 Updates. Establishing the rules of the game.
Right, so your journey essentially has three distinct stages. You've got the Tier 1 computer-based test, then the Tier 2 CBT paired with a skill test, and finally, document verification. It sounds pretty straightforward, right? But the dynamic between Step 1 and Step 2 is exactly where veterans and rookies alike tend to get tripped up.
You see, there's a fundamental shift in mindset required here. Tier 1 is purely a qualifying gatekeeper. It's of moderate difficulty, and your score here gets you through the door, but it absolutely does not get you the job. Tier 2, on the other hand, is a merit-based, moderate to difficult battleground. That is where the actual job is won or lost. You really have to treat Tier 1 as a strict gatekeeper, but anchor your ultimate prep in conquering those deeper depths of Tier 2.
Section 2. Mastering Tier 1. Conquering the first hurdle. Let's move to and see how this builds into the nitty-gritty of the exam pattern. The structure we're looking at is beautifully symmetrical, but man, is it unforgiving. 4 sections, 25 questions each, 50 marks each. But the true trap? That 15-minute lock on every single section. The exact moment your time is up, boom, you are forced forward. Every single section carries its own timer that cannot be shared. So you really have to actively train your brain to let go of those unanswerable questions instantly.
And we have to talk about the massive negative marking penalty in play here. 0.50 marks just vanish for every single wrong guess. Since each question awards 2 marks, you're literally losing a full quarter of the question's value for a wrong tap. In a super tight 60-minute window where every single second counts, blind guessing, it isn't a strategy. It's a trap that's going to drain your qualifying score before you even realize what's happening.
Section 3. The Tier 2 breakdown, where merit is forged. Let's escalate the stakes a bit.
In the compulsory paper I of Tier 2, notice the massive shift in weightage here. Math and reasoning sit at 30 questions each, but English absolutely dominates with 45 questions. I mean, if English isn't your strong suit, you need to start reading today. Oh, and do not ignore the computer knowledge section. It brings this really unique 20-question challenge with a highly punishing 0.50 negative marking penalty. It's a slightly different dynamic, but it definitely demands your respect.
Now, amidst all this intense academic testing in Tier 2, you're going to encounter an acronym that causes a whole lot of anxiety among candidates. So what exactly is the DST? It's a super common question, and honestly, it's a phase of the exam you absolutely must prepare for right alongside your textbooks.
So the crucial point is the DEST, or Data Entry Speed Test, is mandatory for everyone, but it's purely qualifying in nature. You don't need to be some world champion typist to score merit points here. You literally just need to pass the baseline. You're required to type a passage of about 2,000 key depressions within a strict 15-minute time limit. If you use a scribe, you get 5 extra minutes. The big takeaway? Dedicate just 15 minutes a day to a typing software starting right now. Do not let a simple typing test disqualify you after you've already crushed the math and English sections.
Section 4. Specialist roles, JSO and AAO. The specialized papers.
We have some massive news for these roles in 2026. First up, AAO vacancies are officially announced, which means Paper 3, covering finance and economics, is fully active this cycle. Second, and guys, this is an absolute game changer for tech grads, JSO eligibility has expanded. If you have a degree in AI, data science, computer science, or IT, you are now eligible to sit for the statistics paper. Both of these specialist papers are pretty hefty, at 100 questions for 200 marks. If you have this background, this is just a phenomenal secondary path to secure a highly prestigious role.
Section 5. Strategy and Topic Weightage, a data-driven blueprint. Let's look at where you should actually be investing your time. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how clearly your English strategy is defined by the historical data. Reading comprehension and the closed test make up more than half the section. You can't just memorize grammar rules to win here. You have to actively train your contextual reading speed. Think of it this way. If you master comprehension, you master the Tier 1 English section. Simple as that.
General awareness always looks impossibly vast on paper, right? But the data tells a completely different story. Current affairs and general science yield the highest returns by far, bringing in 13 questions combined. Seriously, don't spend months reading up on ancient history while completely ignoring basic biology or what happened in the world last week. Let the data drive your daily schedule.
I want to bring up this quote from our source material because it perfectly encapsulates everything we've been talking about today. Earlier, the exam tested mostly speed. Now it also tests discipline, since you must finish each section within its own 15-minute limit. This is the core psychological shift that the 2026 rules demand from every single applicant. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you lack the absolute discipline to let go of a tough question and respect that timer, the system is just going to leave you behind.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate challenge. We know the timer is the ultimate gatekeeper now, so ask yourself, is your current study plan actually ready for the clock? Don't just study hard, study to the exact structure of the exam. Adjust your strategy today, respect that timer, and go claim your spot. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer, and I'll see you all in the next deep dive.